and welcome along to Fairview Farm. It is March the 22nd, and we've actually got an offer for something which I couldn't really refuse. Our class Balor here is getting on a bit, and I got a phone call from our local agricultural machinery shop who basically said, oh, we know you've been looking to replace your class Balor for a while. We have something that A, will fit on your tractors, and B, will improve your farm. So we have hooked up the class to the back of the tractor here, and we're going to take it down to the shop. We're giving it in part exchange for an item we're purchasing down there. While we're on the way down there, the guys who have recently redone our drive, they came back, and you can see now that we've got a much more level, less bumpy driveway. It's still bumpy in a couple of places, but it's basically initially a farm track, and they've done a great job in finishing this off. So I'm really pleased with this now. The drive is looking fantastic. We've got all of the bumps and everything sorted from it, and everything is looking great there. So we're going to pop down to the shop. We're going to go and grab this baler, and then we've got to come back to the yard today because the BJ is ready for our next load of silage. So we're going to start loading that up and getting that delivered as well. I never get tired of coming out of this part along this road and just looking over that view. That is just one of the most gorgeous views ever. And what a part of the world to be living in. It really is just absolutely amazing. That's the north coast of Northern Ireland, and it is just out over the sea there. I think the next where we're positioned here, I think the next place is the Outer Hebrides, straight up north from here. My geography from the north of here isn't great, but yeah, you're into the Scottish Islands heading north from here, and it's just beautiful. It's either that or Iceland out that way. Either way, there's a long expanse of sea leading away from here, up and out there. And yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. We do get some fairly extreme weather from here from time to time, coming off the northern currents. And stuff comes straight down from the Arctic here if you're not careful. So it can be a little bit extreme. As I said, we had quite a dump of snow here in February, and that when you get a dump of snow around here, you're not going anywhere. These small roads tend to get blocked fairly easily, and even with the Land Rover, I struggle to get about a bit. So yeah, we basically in the winter months we hunker down a bit and know that we're not getting much work done around the farm, and basically just try and stay warm and stay occupied in other ways. But they've still got the gate posts down here, which makes things fun. As I said before, they're very used to having stuff come in with smaller equipment, and therefore that's what those original gate posts allowed for. Look at this though. So this is what we're picking up. This is a Krone Comprimer V180 XC. It will do up to 180 centimeter bales, whereas this our Roland absolutely does not. It only requires 80 horsepower though, which is more than well, it's, yeah, I think we're up to I think 85 horsepower on our 7610 here. So we'll go and put this over by the barn because that's where they've asked me to leave it, and that will then they'll come out and sort that in a bit, and we'll hook up the new one and get it back to the yard. That'd be very very nice to get this done. And before we start our spring cutting as well is one thing that's very nice about it. I'm not overly worried about the horsepower on this tractor actually, paired with this baler. Our rigger track is more than capable of towing this and baling with this, so it will work with that quite well as well. Yeah, look at the size difference of this compared to the old one. But yeah, this should do us fairly well. We're going to get this back to the yard. I want to get it into the workshop, check it out, check it over, and make sure that everything is repaired and working. And then I'm going to go and start loading up our trailer, our truck, because yeah, we need to get some more silage down here. Now that they've processed a lot of what we took earlier in the month, we should be able to get another couple of loads down here and into the BGA today as well, and keep that money coming in. I don't think we're going to empty the clamp though before we have to start filling it, but then that is why we have 2 silage clamps, so that we can still be emptying and selling off the contents of one, while the other is getting filled with this year's cut. As I've mentioned a couple of times before, we have to go right around the bottom of Fairhead in order to get back to our farm. We're right around in the top out on the peninsula itself. And so as we're going round and following the road round, I'm able to see the farm in the distance pretty much the whole time. We start off the other side of the loch and work our way around it, and yeah, it's always visible pretty much from the far side. I've heard a couple of people saying that it would be quite useful to possibly reclaim more of the land on Fairhead and get it and get that farmed. That there's space really to arable farm up here. And I would say, coupled with the extreme weather we tend to get from time to time, there's the whole thing of it being an area of amazing natural beauty. And I wouldn't really want to sort of mess that up. But I think there is space maybe up among the trees up there where you could go and you could do that. Yeah, you can see the other side of the tree line up there. There's a big area of green space that nobody really farms. It's very much left natural, that area up there. And as a result, there's possibly some farming potential. I mean, all the fields up the back of our yard here, those get farmed. They're not farmed by us, as I've mentioned before. They're farmed actually by the farm. You can see just the other side of the loch there, and so yeah, they come through that area actually, and come and do that. And we sometimes see them on the back tract up the top. They don't come down our driveway or anything, yeah. And then there are some fields around here. Somebody actually got crops in there this year, or is this grass? I think this is grass still. So much of what's around here is grass. Yeah, this is grass again this year. There are just some massive grass fields. I would love to add this actually to the farm. We might see if we can do that later in the year. Get a new cut, a new area to cut, especially with this baler now. We'll be in good stead with that. So, but yeah, back up the driveway, and it is looking so much smarter now that we've had it redone. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and yeah, our yard is looking great as well. Right, we need to get this into the shed. I think our best bet is probably to pull around here, reverse this up, And then once that's reversed up there, we're able to pull forwards and around here and get this reversed up again and into here. So we'll be able to create much bigger bales with this. Not that for feeding I particularly want to be creating much bigger bales. It will be more efficient, this though. Right, and we'll get this beside the workshop and make sure that we don't catch the tractor. Oh, clear that. There we go. And there we go. That's right by the workshop. Yeah, we're blocking the other stuff, but we can now work on this here. So I'll get to work on that later. First, I want to really, I want to be loading up what we've got in our shed over here, and it's looking a bit green under this pile. We'll have to clear this up later. But yeah, we need to get the wheel loader out and start clearing that. So open up our main shed here. Grab our wheel loader. There we are. And yeah, we can start loading up some more of the silage to get sold. It really, really is such a big income, this. So I'm pleased that they want to take more. They're always seeming to have a need for a fair amount of silage, which is good. I mean, they power most of the farms around here. They also put into the national grid, so it actually goes back to all of the farms. The BGA here is owned collectively by all the farms in the area, and as a result, we end up all making a decent share of money off it. We'll park this here because where I was parking it before is now taken up by our chickens. So yeah, I don't want them getting under my wheels the whole time. Start this up again, and yeah, let's go and get the silage we've got here loaded up and down to the BGA. That way we'll be able to get some extra cash in. One of the things I love about the new layout for our yard is that there is just enough room to maneuver. It has given us just enough space to get everything done, and as a result is much more fitting with the current state of the farm. We are much better for it. I do think though I might go and have a word down at the shop and see if there's a more modern high tip dump bucket that we can get on this. I mean, this works and we are doing fairly well with it, but we do end up sort of winging it a little bit. I know how far I've got to park in front of the trailer in order to get ourselves into a position where we're able to empty the bucket and then have to tip the bucket in. But it does mean that as we get more full on the trailer, we are ending up with not being able to maybe quite get as much in as we'd like. Whereas a high tip or a dump bucket, we absolutely would. But yeah, you see, I have to get right up to the side of the trailer like that, and then we tip it. And when I'm this close, I can't actually get out of the out of my wheel loader to check. So it is a little bit of guesswork. I know roughly how long I have to have it there for, and you can see it is empty. But it is a little bit of guesswork really to get things going. But it works. As a system, it worked, and this setup did not cost us much. You know, we did buy it off the other members of the collective for the BGA, and it's been useful to us ever since. Especially as everybody else already has their own means of doing it. And it's a case then of, okay, how can we upgrade things on the farm so that things become more useful to us, and we're able to get the most out of it. And yeah, I think without replacing this whole wheel loader, a high dump bucket might be the way to go. One more bucket full should do this. So let's get down the bottom and collect it. There we go. And then we can do this. We have got yeah, we seem to be doing better now with getting stuff off the floor with this bucket. We did have an issue a little while ago, and that's now been resolved. I've worked out how to more effectively get everything up with this, so we don't need the David Brown to do this job anymore. Now, I think we're going to end up scooping some back off the trailer when we do this. I think the trailer's fairly full, and when it gets like that, I can't help but scoop some out. Let's have a look. Did we scoop any? Yeah, we scooped a little bit when we brought it all back. So let's just turn this off. In fact, let's back it up so we get maximum space to turn around when we get back. Turn this off, and we'll take this and head down to the BGA so that we are able to get it tipped. And as I said, we're going to do a couple of loads of this today, because that's all the BJ can take. It does take a few days for it to go down there, and with the amount that we have to sell, it's just a continual process. So approaching from the direction we always do again, and yeah, it's a tight turn to get round and in here. I'm wondering if there's an exit the other side of the BGA. You can see we turn into here, and there is just no way to properly stay on the road the whole way. I was wondering, is there a way out on the other side? But it doesn't look like it. It looks like the only way here. Oh, no, there is. Oh, there might be, actually. Right, let's back up then. So head out the window and try and see where we're going. Yeah, we're good. And there we go. That should do the trick. We'll tip that there. And then while that's tipping, I'm just going to go over here and have a look. And yeah, there is. I don't know how good this road or this track would be for our truck, especially at this end here where that seems to be a fairly big, steep bump. Yeah, you'd have to go around that. But yeah, this might be an easier road for us to approach from. So I need to go and try that, I think. Everything's unloaded. Let's bring this round, and oh god, no, that is just not going to happen, is it? Something a bit smaller maybe, but yeah, not with this truck. That's not happening. So we'll spin this round and we'll head out this way, and hopefully we can well, let's go back the other way. I think they've removed the those bits of fence from the road now, or at least whatever that ironmongery was, and it might be a little bit quicker to go back this way. It is certainly, looking at that, the more scenic way to go. Look at that view just out over the water. Is absolutely incredible, and we are at the lowest point on Fairhead at the moment. The water is not too far below us, and we have to basically climb all the way up here. What we might do actually is go back out the other way and see if we can get back to our farm through the back roads of the other farm. They shouldn't have any problem with us doing that, I don't think. And it's nice to take a different route back every so often. So there's a farm down that way, which we've spoken of before. There's the biggest farm in the area, which is this one down here. And yeah, they have access to all the fields around the back of our farm. They have access to them through roads at the back. So what I'm going to do is we'll head back that way. As I said, they have no issue with us going along these roads. And we should be able to get fairly easy access back to our farm this way. And this is quite a pretty route going out and over these fields. You can see why some people have said that it would be, it might be quite nice to reclaim this land. This, though, is the best view of the loch. Just up here, looking out over it. And you can see over there, those lighter green fields, that's our farm. And what a gorgeous view of this landscape. That sun's a bit bright. I don't want to look into that too much. But yeah, this roadway, this basically goes all the way across this grassland up the top here, and heads round to the back of our farm where all the other fields are. And coming up to here, this gives you a completely different view of the valley. What a gorgeous, unspoilt wilderness that is. Just amazing. Right, we got the last little bit. So it's basically through the back of the woodlands here. You can see where everything starts to turn back to farmland. We then stick down the bottom here, through here. So entrance to this grass field is just there. And it gets a little bit narrow. We're fine with this truck. I've done this trip a few times. So I know how it is. There's another entrance to this field here. That is very tight to get into that entrance there, which is why there's two entrances. The bridge across the creek, and then down the back here. And this then comes down into the back of our farmyard. There's a grass field there. That is our barley field to the right. And there is our sheds and our farmyard. So yeah, it's quite an interesting route back, that. One advantage to it, other than having to turn around on this field, is of course that we come in and we can park in our new loading position, just like that. And that makes everything easy again. So let's get load number 2 done and get that delivered as well. That is going to be a job well done for today, I think. I think we're just about finished. Not a huge amount more to put in. And, oh yeah, the green that seems to have stained the floor in here, that is really beginning to show. Gonna have to get this floor all cleaned up and everything when we've emptied this out of here this year. Until then, it's just going to be stained by like that. But we'll be able to get the pressure washer in here and get that properly cleaned up once I've got all of this out. I think that should be everything. Let's see, are we catching any in the bucket? Oh no, we're not. We might be able to fit some more in there actually. Looks like we might be able to fit some in the front as well, so we'll give that a try. But if it won't tip in, it won't tip in, and we'll be full. But that is just about done, I think, as far as getting nicely loaded up. And fairly impressive amount of work we got done today. Getting 2 more loads of this, replacing our baler with something much more modern. And able to make us some bigger bales. Not that we've managed to get through all of last year's yet, but that will do quite nicely. As I said, when it comes to doing some hay bales on here this year, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Oh yeah, wow, we really struggled to get most of that in there. So let's just park this up. I might load up another one so that I can take it down there later. And I think that's pretty good. Right. Let's go and drop this second load off down the BGA. And that will keep them happy. But all in all, I think that's a pretty good place for today's vlog. We are moving on quite nicely here on the farm. I think we'll probably pick things up next time in April as things continue in spring. For now, I'm going to leave this here, which means that all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.